Welcome everyone to the next episode, episode 35 of Let's Play Final Fantasy Reborn. So we were investigating the mysterious Lahabrea, and we went to Highbridge, Quarry Mill, and Little Alamigo, but we found evidence of his machinations, but nothing much to really go on to give us an insight as to who he is. The biggest thing, though, is we did stop the Alamigan resistance from accidentally summoning another primal they have to worry about, namely Rancor. So we won't have to worry about that. Not that I think they would have gotten very far to begin with. But that was the previous episode, so if you want to see how that transpired, go ahead and take a look at episode 34. But don't know if we were finished with that investigation, but we did report back to Minfilia, and she had us put the matter to rest, but she now has a new mission for us, so let us go see what is awaiting in store for us. We are in the Waking Sands, and we are going into the Solar to speak with Minfilia. Terror at Fallgourd. While you were tending to business in Thanalan, some new information arrived, courtesy our friends, the Sylphs. An individual fitting Lahabrea's description has been sighted in the North Shroud. This sighting comes in the wake of a series of mysterious deaths in the selfsame area. My instincts tell me that our man is involved. I would have you continue your investigation where you left off. 12 Wheeling will be able to pick up Lahabrea's trail once more. Eorzea can furnish you with the details. Pray speak with her and take it from there. As always, be careful out there, Lightbringer. Eorzea. Walking One is to investigate Sinister One. Then heed well to this one's words. This one is friends with a Walking One in the Ashcrown Consortium. According to Friendly One, a Digging One named Medrad had an encounter with a scary Masked One. This Masked One is most certainly Sinister One. Walking One should go and speak with Digging One, Medrad. Digging One is to be found at Fallgourd Float in the North Shroud. So, let us go off to the North Shroud. Alright, we are in the North Shroud for Fallgourd Float, a road chocobo, which took me about 10 minutes, but for everyone else, it should just be you the viewer, it should just be a simple 1-second YouTube edit. Anyway, he is in this direction. Let's go down this way. I bet he's in here. Yep, here's our guy. Medrad, please leave me be. I'm not long for this world. I look death in the face. 'Tis only a matter of time before he comes for me, just like he came for that poor woman. Mudrod is clearly traumatized. Perhaps if you were to soothe him, he might remain calm long enough to hold a conversation. So when you see a dialogue like this, the word in red, soothe, is a key here. So we want to have our Mudrod targeted and then do /soothe. Now we'll do the soothe emote directed at Mudrod. You're right. It's not as bad as it seems. I saw something terrible, that's true. But that hardly means I'm going to suffer the same fate. Thanks to you, I can think straight again. I believe I can even recount what I saw without losing it. It was just another ordinary day. I was headed back to the float when I noticed a suspicious character in the distance. A masked man garbed head to toe in black. He had a hideous friend in tow, a winged creature that was all eyeball and jagged teeth. Taken by curiosity, I crept as near as I dared. To see the corpse of a woman. One glimpse was enough to tell me that she died a gruesome death. In that instant, I knew right away the masked man was a minion of Thal, come to claim her soul for his realm. What? You're investigating the same masked man? Aideen. If that's the case, we'll help you in whatever way we can. Aye, anything to ensure that we won't have to suffer Mudrod's hysteria ever again. Alright, teamwork. That's what I wanted to... Wait. I haven't been that bad, have I? At any rate, I'm all for helping this adventurer. It's the least I can do to repay her comforting me. Ziz Is So Ridiculous. So here's what I know about the deaths. All the victims were found with their faces torn to shreds. Among the local fauna, only the scale skin known as Ziz could inflict such wounds. That is why some folk are pointing the finger at them. I somehow doubt that the answer is that simple. But for the sake of thoroughness, we should look into it. Why don't you put down, say, 3 of the creatures and see if you can find any proof connecting them to the deaths. Oops. So, not sure just like how far we're going to get exactly, but might as well humor them. And we want to go the other way. So we'll take part of this fate here, and we'll cut back to we'll probably also be able to clear our Ziz at the same time. So our Chocobo gained about almost 700 experience points, which I really need to do more off what you call, because he really needs to level up. But anyway, we'll see you back at the ranch. Or back at the bar, I should say. You've already seen to the Ziz? Good work, adventurer. So, were you able to find aught to suggest that the creatures are our culprits? Nothing. Truth be told, if there were proof, I would know what it looked like. Anyway, I believe we can safely strike Ziz from our list of suspects, which leaves us with the masked man and his winged eyeball. So now we have a mission from both Aideen and Evilot. I don't know if this is an either or if we'll eventually get to both of them, but let's go Aideen first. Rock of Rancor. There is something else I heard about the deaths. It appears all the victims have been comely maidens. I'd better watch myself, eh? Unseemingly japes aside, there's a rumor been going around. There are some as whisper that after each victim died, her Rancor went into the great big rock southeast of here, causing it to flash and moan. This bears investigating. I reckon I'm going to have to give you a fire sand stick to blow off a piece of that crag and see if that doesn't come with a fuse or anything. So if you have, you'll have to throw the thing. Once you've torn the rock a new one, bring back some of the fragments and I'll give them a gander. So go ahead and pause and read at your discretion. Again, we have to go this route. So according, it might be hard to see, but according to the mini-map, we have to go down in elevation. Okay, so that's our target, so let's stand back. And for key items, hit I for your inventory, and then go to the bag with the exclamation mark. It's the farthest right marker, and this will give you key items. Click on Use, and for this thing, we have to throw it, so it's going to give us a marker to show the area of effect. We want to make sure that we have it over that glowing marker there. So let's place it, click, and there we go. And now we have to pick up all the crystals. So while we're doing this, if you're into crafting, you'll notice that you'll be using some, like, not only, like, ores, wood, skins, and leather, whatnot, but you'll also be using crystals. To see what, how much crystals you have of what type, you want to click on the second icon, the icon that's second most to the right. It'll be shaped like a crystal with a plus sign on it. My cursor is over right now. And you can have shards, fine crystals, and then fine clusters. As you level up in your crafting, you'll start using the other ones. But that's water, that's lightning, there's earth, there's wind, there's ice, and there's fire. I think for most metalworking, you might be using wind and fire. And let's go for the last one. All right. Back to the bar. Most folk are too scared to go within 100 yalms of the Rock of Rancor. Aye, it has a name, but what's a few vengeful spirits to a dauntless adventurer like you, eh? Huh? Why, these are just your garden variety crystals. It's a bit hard to tell beneath all the dirt and grime, but they're definitely lightning expected. I almost hate to say it, but that explains the flashing and moaning. Nothing to do with the masked stranger. Looks like I've gone and wasted both your time and perfectly good fire stick. Well, well. So that leaves us with our friend here, Evero. Seeing eye to winged eye. There is something you should know. I have been keeping this to myself, lest I worsen Murad's paranoia. But I too have seen the winged eyeball. I cannot say whether it was coincidence, but my sighting took place precisely the same time as Murad's. I was heading home after a day of digging when a shadow fell over me. Looking up, I found myself locked in a gaze with a giant eyeball. I let out a scream at the top of my lungs and ran without once looking back. This happened at the rocky area west of here, in case you had a mind to investigate. Alright, so west means we're going out the other door again. So let's see here. This time around, we're going out the other way. You're probably going to have to... Well, you might not have to. So out the western door and back down to the area we were at before. So that's our destination. We have an aggressive character here. Yeah, don't forget the creatures with that triangle icon in front of their name. They are hostile. They will attack you if you get too close. But right click on our destination and let's see what happens here. Nope. Okay. Nothing but our typical garden variety mutated scorpion and Bane Mite. A little more aggressive than usual. You can kind of cheat when you're summoning your Chocobo, as you can start running after the summoning bar is completely filled. You'll notice that some of your actions will light back up again. You can also do that with spells. Because once you're done with the physical act of casting, your skill should light up again. Or your emotes should light up again. That can tell you that you can move. A monstrous Bane Mite appeared, and you slew it. That creature had long been a scourge upon the folk of Fallgourd. Intentional or no, you have done us a great service. You have my gratitude. But this does make me wonder, was it truly a winged eyeball I saw, or merely a trick of light combined with blind panic? Power of Deduction. Manor is troubled by the dearth of new developments in the murder investigation. There have been no promising leads in the murders. I can scarce get a wink of sleep knowing that the killer is still at large. Judging by your furrowed brows, I take it this sorry business troubles you as much as it does me. I had been pondering my encounter. I was wondering for a time, but there can be no doubt. It was a winged eyeball that I witnessed. It's implausible that I could have mistaken so distinct a creature for a Bane Mite. But you and I were moons apart. How could you both seen it at precisely the same time? What's more, our adventurer friend here had a run-in with a Bane Mite at the very spot you claimed to see this fiendish eyeball, isn't that right? There must be an explanation. I know I saw an eyeball with wings. I would wager an apple tart on it. Oh, he's serious. But listen, mayhap it's not as mysterious as we're making it out to be. There's no reason why there could be... Of course. There must be more than one of the buggers. It's been so obvious. But then that means, since there have been repeated sightings of these fiends, then there must be even more victims as yet undiscovered. Gulp. I do believe we're out of our depth. We ought to leave the rest to the expert. Yes, we're just civilians after all. Good luck, adventurer. It was a pleasure knowing you. Well, I burned to know the truth. Some things are best left unknown. Lest you have forgotten, it was at the rocky area to the west I had my encounter. Should you discover aught of note, you'll want to alert the authorities. There is a guardhouse nearby. The serpents there should be pleased for any information that pertains to the security of the region. So, our time with the miners has come to an end. So, where are we going now? Remains course west of Fallgourd. Okay, we are going out the western gate, and we are looking for, unfortunately, another victim. Now, you can use a mini-map, or you can keep the map out. Let's see, system... There's a way to adjust the transparency of this, I believe. But you can leave it up and it'll help you navigate to where we're going. But we're essentially going back to the same area we were before. Out the west gate and then down towards the bottom. Alright, so there's another player who are doing the same quest, so unfortunately here is our unfortunate creature. There's our winged eyeball. Let's say hi. Now, that attack with the eyeball, you need to be out of range of the cone. So, that attack with the red eyeball, to negate the effects of the eyeball attack, if you are in the cone, face away when the attack goes off. Or simply run, like I did, run around outside it and not be an area of effect to begin with. But that'll do a status effect like paralyze or something else here. Alright, we found our winged creature and we found our unfortunate victim. Let us take our friend here and go to go to the Twin Adder. Yeah, looks like this is the place. Greetings, adventurer. Is there aught I might assist you with? Yes, we found this unfortunate soul. Gods be good. Not again. No matter how many bodies the serpent person here. No matter how many bodies I see, I cannot seem to get used to the horrid sight. Poor woman. Identical deaths have been reported in the Central Shroud, while the masked stranger you seek does not seem to feature in any of the sightings of the winged eyeball are common enough. The creature appears to be moving the bodies, but to what end, I cannot say. The victims have all been young women. All are found with their faces mutilated beyond recognition. It's been difficult to identify them so as to notify their next of... This button engraved with a Lilly motif. The very same object was found upon another victim. A family sigil, or that of an organization perhaps? Either way, I dare to hope that this find will prove pivotal in the solving of the murders. So our mount speed in the North Shroud has increased, so we'll be riding faster now. The secret of the White Lily. I would have you hold on to the Lily button. You will need it to continue your investigation. While it isn't standard procedure to entrust key evidence to individuals, you have proven yourself reliable and resourceful in this matter. I see no reason why you shouldn't carry on your work. If I might make a suggestion, you may wish to take the button to Gridania and have it examined by Manor. Mayhap someone in her vast network of contacts can shed light upon its sigil. Now, since our home base is Gridania, we can simply use the return skill. But you can also get to Gridania by going out the the east gate, and then just basically following the trail east and then curving up, going east to Tree Speak, and then Yellow Serpent, and then over here is the gate here. So let's go ahead and just do the Chocobo. Oh, and if you are, we are right outside the meadow that leads to the Conjurer's Guild. In fact, that's the entrance to it right there. But if you're looking for the Pictomancer, the Cheerless Hearer is the NPC you want to speak with. They are right outside the meadow for the Conjurer's Guild. So take the Aetheryte to the Conjurer's Guild, exit the meadow to go to the main road, and this person right here. I did make a short of it, which you probably have already seen, but just in case, that's where. Good morrow to you, Lightbringer. By your grim expression, I suspect you are here for scones and herb tea. Take a look at this button. Well, isn't this a lovely little button? The engraving is quite exquisite. Artisan level quality, I would say. Where did you say you found this? On a dead body. Lovely. Anyway, I'm afraid I do not recognize the Lilly sigil. You will have to find the answer the old-fashioned way, by asking around. You could do worse than beginning with Bernadette, over by the Aetheryte Plaza. She has a sharp pair of eyes, that one. Need help tracking down the owner of a button? That's certainly not a request I receive on a regular basis. Well, go on then. Show me what you have. Seems to be some manner of decorative button, reminiscent of those worn by the families of old. Though I cannot claim to know its sigil, however, I can say with certainty the white lily is a reoccurring theme in Gridanian culture. Alas, I do not know who would make a personal sigil of it. If there is a soul in Gridania who does, it would be Singuild over at the Lancers Guild. The woman makes a point of knowing all the citizens on a forename basis. Let us switch to our answer, just in case there's any extra dialogue. Bernadette believes that I can help you. Well, that is a rather bold assumption to make. I will try to assist, never you fear. But whether aught comes of it, it is another matter. Now then, what do you require of me? Please be a dear and take a look at this button. See if you know who it belongs to. Fascinating. Work of this quality is rarely seen in the hands of ordinary Gridanians. The owner of this button is most certainly well-to-do. You may wish to take your search to the Gentry's ward, northwest of here. Wait. A memory comes to me. Of late, there has been a man who is perpetually seated at the bench by the ward's entrance. His name is Ursandal, and I distinctly recall seeing a markedly similar button upon the breast of his jacket. I dare say he can tell you a thing or two about it. So the Gentry ward is a ward they will not let us into. but it is way back over here. And if there is a mission that takes you inside there, that would be interesting. So this is the Gentry Ward, and if you approach the servant, it'll tell you basically to bugger off. The district beyond is home to distinguished Gridanians. Commoners may not enter. That includes you, adventurer. Go back whence you came, or will be forced to remind you of your place. So, unfortunately, we never get to see, or at least I've never gotten to see the inside of this area. But it does seem rather interesting. Anyway, the person that we are interested in is this man here. I do not believe we are acquainted. Pray, lead me to my thoughts. And unfortunately, I need you to take a look at this. The sigil of the Dragoon family. How is it that you have came to be in possession of this button? From the body of a murdered woman. Her face. Was it marred in any way? I had feared as much. I can no longer feign ignorance. I shall reveal to you the truth of the deaths, but on one condition. You promise to put an end to my lady's madness and free her from her torment. So dare say, what have we found? Skeletons in her closet. I was once a manservant in the employ of one of the oldest and proudest families in Gridania, the Dragoon. During that time, I had the honor of waiting upon Lady Amandine, mistress of the household. Fair as summer was she, and possessed of a heart befitting her radiance. Alas, the calamity wrought a great change in her. Though my lady escaped with her life, death may well have been a kinder fate. Never I will forget the day her bandages were removed, and she beheld her disfigured face for the first time. At that moment, the cunning woman I knew had ceased to be. Unable to bear the thought of being seen, the lady sequestered herself within her chambers and refused all company. This continued for many uneasy moons, until one day, without warning, she began receiving queer guests. None among us knew whence they came, these masked men, but my lady believed that they would help her regain that which she had lost. So began the rites of rejuvenation. These rituals seemed innocent enough in the beginning, but grew ever more grotesque as time went by. Eventually, there came a day when my lady bound one of her handmaidens to her bed and proceeded to mutilate the poor girl's face. Suffice it to say, she did not survive the ordeal. It fell to me to dispose of her body. I performed a dreadful task as bade, obedient servant that I was. But when the time came to return to the house, my legs refused to move. I knew then that I could not go back to that place. not after the nightmare I had witnessed. So it was that I left Hawk Manor, my home for nigh on half a century. Long did I weep for the girl who was slain, and longer still for the woman that Lady Adamandine had been. Yet one cannot weep forever, and I endeavored to put the matter behind me. Indeed, I had resolved never to speak of my experience until you appeared before me. My lady's madness must be ended, lest more innocent lives be lost. Lay her tormented soul to rest, as you swore to me you would. She awaits you at the Hawk Manor, on the western edge of the central shroud. Now go. Go and do what must be done. And so, we come across the unfortunate tale of the Lady of Hawk Manor, and which is actually the next dungeon that we'll be having to tackle here to put an end to this unfortunate set of circumstances. But take the Aetheryte to the central shroud, the Blue Badger Gate. So we will not cover the dungeon in this episode, but I will show you where to find it. We want to mount our steed. And we want to head out the Badger Gate and go right. We want to make for Bent Branch Meadows, but we want to take the route up to the upper section of the Central Shroud. Now you want to strike off to the left. And you want to come to this area here. This is also a good mining area once you get into, I forget what level these are here. But you want to be careful because there are stropers here, and they have a lot of status effects, so you don't want to get too close to them. So, welcome to Hawk Manor. A once very pleasing estate, but one that has fallen into darkness. So, go up to the manor gates to unlock the dungeon. There you go. Now, since we've unlocked the trust system, we can choose to do this on duty support with a party of NPCs, or do it through the duty finder with a party of players. But we will do that next time. So, next time we will finish off this arc by completing the dungeon at Hawk Manor, and reporting back to the old person, most likely reporting back to Minfilia as well. So please join us next time for when we take on the terrors of the manor. Until then, take care, and see you next time.